Have I ever mentioned how much I like the soundtrack for the Mega Man Zero games? They're really good pieces, honestly. They range from atmospheric to high energy to tense and charged. They're so good. They're so good. But yeah, just gonna hang on this screen for a couple moments so I can explain a few things. First off, as you're seeing in front of you, this is the colored version of the 100 follower thing that we did about a week or two ago. It's not 100% done. I still need to do some coloring and shading in places. I had to do a lot to adjust a bunch of things, but I at least wanted to show it off. I'd say it's maybe like 80% done. Because when it comes down to it, shading isn't terrible compared to coloring. It's essentially put a streak here, put a streak there. It's not that difficult. I just want to, well, show that I've been working on this really, really hard. And even after all that work, you may see in places that's not 100% colored, because Daniel's wings, for example, I need to do a bunch of pixel hunting on a bunch of characters in here, but otherwise, it's mostly done. There's a difference. I'll be working on it a little bit during the coming week. Hopefully I can 100% finish it by next weekend. We'll see. Second, I also wanted to mention specifically that originally I had plans to do an entire back-to-back-to-back-to-back playthrough of all of the Mega Man Zero games. But due to the fact that anything Mega Man related I tend to do on the Twitch end doesn't go over all that great, unfortunately, I may have to axe that plan. To that end, though, I at least wanted to cover the Mega Man Zero game that I absolutely love in the series, that being Zero 3. At least a little bit. We probably won't clear it today, because I have a specific way of playing Mega Man Zero 3 that is going to piss people off, but hey, I at least want to show off this game. That aside, Nakamata! My name is Sage Blake. I'm a wanderer, storyteller, artist and mature. And I'm going to be skipping a few cutscenes here and there. So, how best to explain the Mega Man Zero series? Essentially, think of it as Capcom back in the day wanted to do a sequel series to the original Mega Man X series. And as a result, they went to this game. Sometime after, I believe, 05 or 06. I want to say 06. That's the story behind this game, essentially. Well, behind the original Mega Man Zero 1. Or, you know what I mean, X6, I'm sorry. I'm probably not going to be getting all the collectibles. I'll try to explain what I can along the way, but even that. Mega Man Zero is supposed to be a continuation of the Mega Man X series, where after the events of X6, X is put to sleep and is supposed to be woken up. X and Zero are both put to sleep and are supposed to be woken up when the next calamity occurs. Zero 1 starts at the start of that calamity. See if I can deal with this guy. Not bad. Woo! That gets me pumped in the morning. Okay, so quick explanation. The Megaman Zero series operates on a drastically different measure than the X series. One of the big draws to the Megaman Zero games is the ranking system. As you perform in the game, you're graded based on your performance. Whether or not you complete the mission, how quickly you complete the mission, the amount of enemies that you take out along the way, the amount of damage you receive, the amount of times you perish, and if that use continues, and the amount of cyber elves you kill. We'll get into that. The highest scores that you can get, the higher the scores that you get, the higher your level gets. If your level is an A or an S rank, then you can get an extra reward for most missions. And one of the ways that I try to challenge myself when I play 03 is to try and see how many missions I can go before I start to lose my S and A ranks. I used to play this game a lot back in the day, specifically around when I was in high school. Because, and this is no big surprise considering the setup that I've got. We're playing this on an Emily, and it's specifically the Megaman Zero collection that was released on DS. Yep. And, moment to plug this really quick. How the Megaman Zero collection works is, it's all 4 Megaman Zero games lumped into the same package, essentially. You're playing always on the top screen, while the bottom screen gets a little decorative splash page on it. The splash page depends on the weapon you have equipped, if I remember correctly. So currently, since my primary weapon is the Buster, you get this splash of Zero with the appropriate gun. Similarly, if we were to change to the Saber, which I usually have the Saber as my main weapon anyway, we get a nice splash of this. Yeah, that's one of the bigger things that I do need to mention. The Megaman Zero collection was fairly rare for one reason or another. Very successful, but very rare. If you were lucky to get it, then you got a collector's item for the longest time. And I mean a collector's item. It wasn't until the Zero ZX collection released on Steam and PS4 and whatnot, that the original price for a DS copy of this used to be upwards of $300 US. But again, the Zero ZX collections exist on Steam now, so as a result, the prices drastically dropped. I would highly recommend picking them up if you happen to like Mega Man X. Because these are really solid games, even nowadays. Inti Creates, just saying. Inti Creates knows how to make a game. Ooh, you have the originals. Those are really rare. Nice. Alright, now for the other way that I piss people off. More often than not, a person who plays Mega Man Zero is going to have their Saber, because let's face it, it's the most powerful weapon in the game, and probably their Buster. I'm not like that. Hi, Ox. Sorry. I kinda just floated away from Zai's stream. Let's see. Most games are super hard. Yeah, makes sense. Right, I was mentioning, most people tend to play this game with the Saber, the Buster. I don't, because one, I like to challenge myself, and two, the Recoil Rod is just the arguably better weapon. Oh, and I guess we have the Shield Boomerang, but I never use the Shield Boomerang. It has its uses. It can block bullets in front of you, and when fully charged, you can buzzsaw through enemies and deal fairly good chunk of damage. And in some cases, do a bunch of dicking around. Let's see if I can't show that off real quick. Because one of the things you could do is play jump rope. This is more entertaining than it has any right to be. Hey! Thanks. Thanks, Ox. Actually, sorry, I should probably say it properly. Ox and on 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 and on. But yeah, while the shield boomerang does have its uses and its way of messing around with things, I prefer the Recoil Rod. The Recoil Rod allows you to attack enemies in front of you, push them around. In some cases, if they're small enough. This allows you to turn several enemies in the game into living projectiles. It's a very useful tool. In tandem with that, if you tilt up, down, left, and right, you can change the direction of it, so that you can hit directly above you, which is a rarity in the Megaman ZZero games, by the way. You could also catapult yourself high into the air, higher than a normal jump. In many cases, this is how you do your platforming. It's very useful, especially if you want to try and speedrun the game. And if you're very careful about it, you can dash, jump, and use the charged Recoil Rod, point it at the ground, and carry the speed into a second high jump. It's very finicky to do, but it's very fun to do too. Oh, you're right. I need to readjust that. Sorry about that. Because the bottom screen is supposed to be off kilter. And that, because I want to show off these artworks a little more. Hey. Maybe do it like that. Because again, Inti Creates and the people behind the Megaman ZZero series put a lot of work into this, and I would argue that, aside from maybe Battle Network and Star Force, Megaman ZZero is a series of games that you need to play. This is gonna suck. Little moment to say this. I decided to play this game a couple days ago just to warm up, because, let's face it, it's been years since I've touched this game. And, oh, I am rusty. To put this into perspective, these first four bosses that we have to go after, they took me upwards of 15 tries apiece, just to clear. I was that terrible. But yeah, as we're going through this game, I'll try to give at least a little bit of information here and there. To start with, some of the big antagonists of this specific game are known as the Gentle Judges. We're going after one of those four right now. And they happen to be in a junkyard of sorts. I'm trying to remember the name of their specific name, but I can't. Dark. But hey. Ah, not enough height. One of the things that you could do in this specific stage, there are hammers about that you can hit with the Recoil Rod and send them catapulting into the ceiling, break some things, and also break some enemies too. Very useful environmental hazard. Of course, it could also bite you in the face, but as with all things, it depends on how best you use it. Ah! Let's try that again. Push. Just saying, it's so fun to eat enemies. Alright, mid-boss time. a B10's dispenser. There's a safe method to doing this, there's also a reckless method. The safe method is to use the Recoil Rod, charge it up fully, stand in the middle. You can usually get off one single hit on this thing, and then if you time it right, you can get a second charge shot in to deal some extra damage with, say, the saber or something. In a case like this, where enemies are on the lower sides as opposed to the upper ones, you're better off just doing one of the two. But if you're very careful, you could probably tick down this boss fight in maybe 3 or 4 phases. Done. You also might be noticing that every so often we're picking up these containers. Or I guess they'd be digital files, vaults, something along those lines. Sometimes they contain extra goodies, such as entire cyber elves, e-crystals, that type of thing. Other times they contain enemy bios, or bits of lore. Some of them are specifically spawned as a rare chance from enemies. That's about it there. Bonk. I'll take that. Ah, crap. Heal up. I seriously need some HP. If I'm going to comfortably fight this upcoming boss, I need to be at full health. And even then, it's going to be a bit of a luck-based mission, because I know the patterns, but even then, it's still a matter of getting everything right. No, it's alright, Daniel. And I'm not sure if I covered that, so yeah. Alright, time for our boss. Devil Bat Shield. Devil Bat has a bunch of different attacks that you can use, and they can range from mild inconvenience to, oh god, why is this an attack? Or... more often than not, I have a specific safe method that I try to do with this. 2, 3, ah, crap. And I am absolutely screwing this up. Donk. Crap. Donk. 2, 1. That attack is really easy to dodge. If you're right underneath him, then all you need to do is poke his butt, wait for the 2 discs to cross, and then you can just jump over one of them. Simple. The electricity balls you could probably dodge through, but it's not recommended. Oh! Yeah, there's my first death. I figured it was going to be due to Devil Bat, because, again, I have a specific order for how I play these stages, because I try to go from easiest to hardest. Some of these enemies are just better when you have elemental chips. Devil Bat is one of those cases where you don't need their chip to beat them in a decent manner, because they've got some relatively simple attack patterns. Oh, come on. One. Good. Poke you in the butt. One, 2, oh, shite. And I missed the window. Again, Recoil Rod, while it doesn't deal as much damage, can stagger most enemies, and Devil Bat is no exception. Gah. Yes, yes, I'm trying to do few frame perfects. Can you blame me? Especially if you can get off those hits with the Recoil Rod, they will interrupt him. You can use it to no-sell some of his attacks. Case in point. Again, the Recoil Rod is an amazing weapon. Please get good at using it. 2, 3, and charge this up. Wait for the poof again. 1, 2, 3. Poof. Shank him in the butt. 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, and I messed up. Oh well. 1, 2, 3. If I have to go through the safe method, I will. He only seems to summon his bats when he's on the absolute left or right side of the screen, so feel free to take advantage of that. There is a safe nook that you can hide in the absolute corners. Just in case. And there we go. Something else that you could do with these gentle judges, and a lot of the bosses within the Mega Man Zero series, if you finish them off with the saber, they cut clean in half. It looks so cool, and it's such an unnecessary feature, but I love seeing that. Fuck. That's a C. I might actually, like, rewind time just so I can try to get that A rank. Because I like trying to get as many A ranks as possible, you know? Actually, you know what? Nah. Let's not. Because this is only supposed to be a casual playthrough anyway, but even still, I want to see how many A ranks I can get. Now that we have the electricity chip, it's going to make Blazing Blizzard a lot easier. I specifically wanted to get the electricity chip just to make this easier, just so I could get through it faster. Every time you beat a stage as an A rank, you get a reward for the next stage. In tandem with that, more often than not, you do get a reward for clearing a stage, period. In this case, we got, well, an electric chip. It imbues all our attacks with electricity. The Blizzard character? No, I said Flizzard. His name is Blazing Flizzard, with an F. It's a dumb name. Don't worry. Whoop. The electricity chip, when fully charged, allows you to, well, electrocute targets. In the cases of large enemies, it will stagger them in place, making them easier to take out. Ow. Me? Actually pay attention to your health. And time for a little known secret. Because I don't see as many people going for this. There are a lot of hidden nooks and places if you know where to look. Oh! remember correctly, the lava isn't necessarily instant kill, but it does heavy damage. Oh! I want to pogo off that enemy. That's what I get for trying to show off! And this time on showing off. Let's see if I could do some extreme parkour, because I didn't know that this little bit up here existed until last night, when I decided to, again, do a bit of practice and messing around. Even after all this time, I'm still learning new things about this game. And showing off another thing that people might not know about, the groups of boxes around here can be pushed using the Recoil Rods. This one specifically, I would recommend you push twice. We'll see why in a moment. At least for right now, though. Deal with the enemy. True, you have a point. Alright, time for a quote-unquote mini-boss. It's not exactly a mini-boss, it's more an enemy rush than anything. But if you take out enough of the enemies within the 30 seconds that you've got, you get to be let out a year earlier. I believe it's like 25 of these things that you need to kill. Done. Yeah, it was 04, also known as the Megaman ZZero game that we got because Capcom wanted to strike while the iron was cooling off. Megaman Zero was supposed to end in 03, but again, Capcom wanted that sweet dosh and requested a fourth game, much like they did with X7 and X8. I just want to point out those two, which absolutely ruined the continuity. Yeah, exactly, Capcom being Capcom. Whee! I may need to kill myself to reset my life at some point. I don't wanna, but I might have to! Well, well, I took care of that ahead of schedule, at least! Though I definitely ruined my chance at redeeming my A rank. But hey, this is meant to be a casual playthrough more than anything. At that, for getting an S rank, you can gain extra weapon techniques and whatnot for Zero. One of them is this down spike thing. It allows you to, when you hit down and attack in the air with the saber, catapult yourself to the ground, deal a larger amount of damage to anything that the saber comes into. Whoop. That was close. Whoop. I like pogoing off enemies like that. Alright, let's see if I can't take out Blizzard with half a bar of HP. Crossed fingers, but I know better than to hope. Wait, up here. Woo! Oh, nice work! Gotta use that DuckTales moment. Yeah, exactly! Such, again, Recoil Rod. Really, really fun weapon when you know how to use it. Ah, see. Yep. That was off.